Eden Utilities can help your organisation to convert the energy it uses every day into a more sustainable source of supply. We are a professional, totally independent but friendly utility consultancy that can offer any organisation a way of converting its own waste into energy. This provides a number of beneficial rewards. So, if you already recycle items like plastics and paper, you could now use the rest of the waste your business creates to generate power for use back into your organisation. If you don't do any recycling yet, you could start now, without the need for any additional effort or large investment in time or cash to accommodate the initiative. Our Eden Infinity product provides your business with a way of not only helping the planet, but also saving you money. Your business creates waste. That waste is collected, and then we work with your energy supplier to ensure that the power generated from your waste is used to supply electricity back to you. In doing something like this, along with doing your bit to help save the planet and meeting your business's green targets, it provides great PR for your organisation, sending a very positive message to your suppliers, clients and stakeholders. It's something to be very proud of. At Eden Utilities, we pride ourselves on being unique with our continuous innovation, along with our ethos of providing a fully transparent pricing model to all our clients. Our personable approach means we always work with you to find the best for you. We regard ourselves as an extension of your business, a partner. Eden Utilities, your sustainability partner.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Peninsula Stadium. We're in T3 Greater Manchester, taking all necessary precautions for episode 7 of Talk of the Town. Yes, hello and welcome to the Peninsula Stadium, home of Salford City, who the Reds take on in today's 3 o'clock kickoff in League 2. We'll be bringing you all the build up here for the next 45 minutes or so. We'll have Tom and Ben swinging by to talk about the team news, which is just fresh in. Gary and Sam took part in higher or lower earlier on. Very interesting result in that one. We'll also have John Yems, as always. He'll be swinging by. We caught up with Acting Head of Community, Darren Ford, to talk about the community initiatives the club have been doing over the past few weeks. We've got Will from Salford City. He swung by earlier on to tell us how they've been getting on. And to end the show, a very, very special edition, special is the word, edition of Get Your Kits Out. But first, let's take a look at how the Reds got on Tuesday night at St James's Park in Exeter.
Jack Sparks and Jake Caprice all coming in. So trying to pile on the pressure early on. Tony Craig. So he partially cleared. Shot comes in and rattles the crossbar. A really good strike. Will be happy to just get the ball clear anywhere. It's great. Collins. Towards the left is covered by Josh Doherty. Continues his manoeuvre forward. Nichols. Past Collins and goes left to Matthews. Matthews cuts inside. He's gone for goal. Wasn't very far away at all. Just dusted the top of the crossbar, didn't it, from Sam Matthews. Sends it over. Goalkeeper's beaten all ends up. It's brushed the bar. It's a corner of Jake Caprice. Really good header away from Parks. There's a really neat ball into the back post, and Matthews returns it again, but this time able to watch it behind for a corner. Deliver this from Matthews. Keeper makes the initial block. George Frankham, captain. It's a teasing run. A good strike as well from Nichols. Just wide, having a good spell here from Crawley. Wasn't a bad effort at all. Clears long. Exeter's home form is very good. But, they're on the back foot at the moment. There's another effort from Nichols. Carried away. It's a high boot. Struggling here to contain Tom Nichols. It was a difficult angle for the summer signing from Bristol Rovers. Back in the West Country today. Again profiting down that left-hand side, and it's Tom Nichols again wrestling his way into the penalty area. And he's able to get the shot away. Again, the angle wasn't on his side. Goalkeeper Lewis Ward had to make the save. And Williams. Long punt forward from Tunnicliffe, and the chase is on, and Waters scores. He gets the better of Pierce Sweeney. He out-muscled the Exeter defender and slides home. And for Waters, it's his fourth goal in all competitions this season. It's just a big punt upfield from Jordan Tunnicliffe, and it completely caught out Exeter City. Sweeney couldn't recover, but it's still a very good finish from Max Waters. Sparks. Sparks has continued his run down this right-hand side, if he can be found, and he can. Sparks. Bowman, he couldn't connect, but Jake Taylor can. And with just 13 minutes to go, Exeter City level things off at 1-1. It's a great ball in from Sparks, who made a great run down the right-hand side. A complete miscue from Bowman. It'll still go down as Exeter at the moment. Joshua Key. He's getting out of the way. Connor Frost, and then the clearance from Glenn Morris. It hits Ryan Bowman and goes in, and Exeter lead. Oh, it's a bizarre goal, and it's a cruel goal for Crawley Town. Goalkeeper Glenn Morris smashes his clearance straight against Bowman, and it deflects through and into the net. And the substitute, Nichols, still going Nichols, can he pull it back? He can. It's a very good block. Exeter City preserved their slender lead. Great pull back this from Nichols.
Yes, welcome back to the Peninsula. I don't know what that was about. Yes, yes. Sound like the bloke from figuratively. Yes. No. Welcome back to the Peninsula Stadium. Let's give you today's team news. In goal, as always, Glenn Morris, George Frankham, Tony Craig, Jordan Tunnicliffe, Josh Doherty make up the back line. Jack Powell, Jake Hessenthaler in midfield. Jake Hesketh making his first start for Crawley today, with Sam Matthews on the other side. Tom Nichols and Max Watters makes up the starting lineup. On the bench, Tom McGill, Manny Adibawale, obviously made his debut here last year for Crawley. Joe McNerney, Taran Alarakia, Archie Davis and Sam Ashford. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Tom Allman and Ben Harwood, who basically we couldn't find anyone else, so we filled them. We'll hopefully talk about some grass or something so we can include Ben in this section very shortly. Firstly, we'll start with Ben. The lineup today, sort of not too different from the last few games, but obviously Jake Hesketh comes in for his start. You were there on Tuesday night, you've seen all of the games recently, Ben. Yeah. What are you making of this team and sort of the solid core that we've got?
Yeah, I think it's starting to click, isn't it, in areas. There's a bit to work on still, but Hesketh looked really sharp and he looks some sort of player. And I'm interested to see him today and starting from the start.
Yeah, and Tom, on Jake Hesketh, a lot of people were surprised that we managed to get him in the lineup. Do you know anything about him particularly?
I know he obviously made a few appearances in the Premier League for Southampton, had his spells at Lincoln most recently, but yeah, sort of just further on what Ben said, I think he had a bit of class about him when he came on Tuesday night against Exeter. I think, you know, with all the hoo-ha, maybe shall we say, from this last week, I think that maybe paints over the fact that, you know, apart from the sloppy goals that we conceded, for me, I was actually really positive coming away from the game on Tuesday because the performance was there. I think, you know, early in the season, don't get me wrong, you want to pick up as many points as you want, but you'd be a bit more concerned if we weren't putting in the performances and weren't getting our shots off, for example. But, you know, for me, I thought first half was as good as I've seen us play in a long time. You know, obviously got the 4 goals against Morecambe in the second half. I think the only difference between that and how we played certainly first half against Exeter was that we didn't maybe take our chances.
But yeah, as you say, I mean, for an hour at least, it was quite solid. It was quite good. We played quite well. But obviously, the opposition are going to come at us, aren't they? They're not going to sit there and go, all right, we're happy to lose 1-0 at home. And I think maybe that gets glossed over a little bit. People see Crawley throwing away a 1-0 lead, but actually, there's a good Exeter side there who have basically had to come at us for an hour on their home patch, trying to get a win.
I think we've just got to get in the game early, haven't we? Get the ball down, a bit of confidence first, don't concede early, and then move into the game from there. We seem to start better when we concede early, but let's not do that. Let's just start early doors.
Yeah, that could be key today. Obviously, Salford, with Paul Scholes has come in recently as a manager. They've had a bright start to the season. They've only lost 1 game, which is away at Port Vale, which is not a difficult place to go.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from them today? What are you expecting to have the game? How you?
They've got some players that have played at a higher level, haven't they? Darren Gibson and. Was a kiddie up front for them. Wilson scored the other day, didn't he? So they move the ball around. They'll be a good side. But we match anyone looking at the way we are. So we'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom, looking at some stuff sort of off the field now for the club, we announced the initiative. I know very much you're behind the initiative, sort of feeding the kids over the half term. Obviously, after we're not looking to get into politics. We've sort of made that clear. We're not interested in any of that. But what we are interested about is helping our local kids in the community who maybe are struggling in these difficult times.
Yeah, I mean, over the COVID period, obviously the club has been really well supported from the local community and the fans. So, obviously, as you mentioned, feeding the kids over half term's been well documented because of, you know, the work Marcus Rashford's done and a lot of other media outlets and restaurants all joining together. So, yeah, we just wanted to put a small token sort of towards that. We'll be offering meals to those who need it throughout the week. People will need to pre-book the night before for the next day. So, for example, we'll need to order by 6 o'clock Sunday evening for a pick-up on Monday. They can do that by emailing the club. Just email noreply@crawleytownfc.com with the order for the next day, and then you'll be able to pick it up from the stadium the next day.
Yeah, fantastic. Really great, and like great that the club have got behind it, and the local community, fantastic. One way that obviously people can help the club is something our red wall went up this week, the start of it. What's gone up, we've already had some more plaques ordered before the wall went up, so we've got more to come. But also, since it went up, we've had a whole sort of run on orders as well. That's been a great initiative, and people can still get behind it.
Yeah, again, we can't sort of stress enough the support that we've had from the fans over the course of the pandemic. The Red Wall was another one of those that is going to raise some funds for the club at this vital time. And yeah, as you say, we had a really great initial uptake, and I think now that people have seen sort of a visual of what it's all about and sort of how it looks, we've had a lot of orders coming in over the last few days, and yeah, hopefully the wall will continue to grow.
Absolutely, and talking of things continuing to grow, we go to Ben. Salford pitch, not too bad, not too shabby.
Looks okay, yeah, no, not too bad at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, doesn't as many games as ours, does it? So,
you had to get in there. You had to get all right, Ben. Your pitch is great.
Yeah, no, it's all
Guys,
right.
thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to be joined by the manager very shortly. But as I said earlier on, we caught up with Darren Ford, the acting head of Community Foundation, to talk about what the club and the Community Foundation have been doing over the last few months.
Foundations and all charitable organisations across the country, but we've got a really great team of staff and obviously some really good links within the community. So right from the offset of the restrictions back in March, we just all wanted to help and support our local community as best as we can. So we've done things, and we're still doing things like befriending phone calls. We've been delivering food packages, and just keeping in touch with all aspects, all corners of the community to make sure that they're okay. Is there anything that they need? And it might seem quite odd for a football club to be getting involved in a community foundation, to be involved, but a lot of clubs are the hub of the community to a certain extent. And regardless of whether people are season ticket holders or casual fans, I think everybody will look at the results page to see how we're doing as a club. So along the line, there is an affinity with Crawley Town as a football club, and as a foundation now, we're really amongst some larger organisations in Crawley and helping to support those other organisations to fulfil what they want to be doing, but also we're pushing forward ourselves and helping everyone as best as we can.
And there's obviously, I've worked in foundations myself, and one thing that always surprised me, people go, didn't realise that the football club did that. And why did the football club get involved in that? They don't realise the wide scope of the work of a foundation. It's like, it's not necessarily just people having a football at their feet. It's a whole range of different things that you are doing sort of in normal times. Talk us through some of those things. I know education and all that sort of stuff.
So we've got, at the moment, we run education. So we've got an education academy, which gives an opportunity for 16 to 19-year-olds coming into the club, doing their education with us, gaining their qualifications through BTEC Sport qualifications, and working with us and also representing the club in the National Youth Football League. So that gives a great opportunity for those leaving school that want to try and further a career in football and in sport. We've got our schools work where the department will go into local schools and deliver lunchtime sessions, after school clubs, PPA sessions, all that types of thing. Also, we have Premier League Primary Stars programme, which is funding through the Premier League, and that gives an opportunity to help and support young children in their journey through sort of literacy and English work as a schools programme. We're moving through into our NCS programme, so National Citizen Service, which runs a summer programme and an autumn programme to give young people an opportunity to really, I suppose, find themselves, have an understanding of what's out there, get involved in some social action, so helping and supporting their own local community. We have community development, so community development is a big area in terms of being out there in the community, right the way through from social inclusion, so helping young people to have things to do in the evenings so they're not getting involved in antisocial behaviour or any levels of crime that might be going on in and around the area, through structured programmes and workshops. We've got walking football, women's and recreational football with COGS, Crawley Old Girls, through to our extra time hubs, which is our 55 plus programme, and that's just a way of actually supporting older people to participate in physical activity, but also to reduce isolation and loneliness. And then we've also got our Tackling Loneliness programme, which is ongoing at the moment and
really important
massive at the moment, a really big thing. So we're doing things where we're carrying on with befriending phone calls, we've got online sessions, we're visiting participants through garden gate conversations, so all socially distanced, but giving an opportunity for someone just to have a chat with someone and just let off some steam, or we can ask them about how their day's going, what they've done at the weekend, have they got everything they need. So just that, almost like a personal service, just making sure that they're okay and checking in with them. We're doing a newsletter, mail drops, whatever anybody wants, we're trying to help and support. And our age range with the Tackling Loneliness is, our youngest is 23, and that's someone with some mental health issues, and our eldest is 96. So again, a wide scope, and it's just really pleasing to know that we can do that and go out, and I know that it's been really well received by those participants we've got.
Yeah, fantastic. So obviously, you find that there's people watching today, hopefully lots of people watching today. How can they get involved with the foundation? Is there anything they can do to help, or is there any way they can do to participate? Like, is there a call to action for people?
Yeah, we'd love more people to refer to us. So if they know someone that may be experiencing some loneliness and a bit of isolation during these unusual times, they can always refer to us or contact us. It may be some of our own fans that may be missing the football and just want to, just make contact, have a chat about football or anything like that, then we can support them from there. And we're always looking for volunteers that are happy to come and help us to do these types of things. And quite often it's actually, everyone's got a common kind of interest, and that normally is the club. So therefore, if we've got people that are isolated at home, but we've got people that are able to give them a call and talk about the season, the matches, anything else that's going on, all to do with Crawley Town, then it just creates greater links with each other as well. So people's social networks are expanding all of the time.
Fantastic. And your website, is it ctcommunityfoundation.co.uk?
.com.
Oh, so close. So it's ctcommunityfoundation.com. Go on the website, have a look at all the different work that Darren and his team have done, really sort of on behalf of the club and I suppose the foundation, the community as a whole. Thanks for all your work that you and your guys are doing. Really appreciate that. So that's it. Yeah, go and have a look at their website, see all the work they do. But for now, back to the good-looking guy in Manchester. Yeah, it's a really great work by Darren and his team in the Community Foundation as they continue to support our local community down in West Sussex. But here in Manchester, as always, I'm joined by the manager, John Yems, and a very special guest, Mark Wright. Mark, thanks for joining us. We'll come to you in a second. But first, John, disappointing on the Tuesday night, but actually there was a lot of positives and we played very well, especially for the first hour.
Yeah, as I say, the only thing disappointing was the result. We was comfortable, I thought. And then the last 15 minutes or 12 minutes, whatever it was just a couple of mistakes. But that's what happens if you don't concentrate. Like game lasts for 90 odd minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, certainly not anything to get too down about. Here today, another tough away game. We've spoken a lot about how the fixtures come thick and fast in this period, especially this season. Tough game away at Salford today. What are you expecting to see from them?
Just a very, very organised, tough side that will be fighting for everything. They've spent a bit of money. They're one of the favourites for promotion. But listen, we can only do what we can do. What they do is irrelevant, really. It's what we've got to do and try and outfox them, for want of a better word.
Yeah. So today, Jake Hesketh comes in for his first start. A lot of excitement online about him. What's he going to add to the squad?
Well, hopefully he adds it to the team today. He's quick. He's good player. He's played in the Prem. He's come from a Premier League side, and hopefully in the final third, you'll see him come to life.
Fingers crossed. Mark, so thank you for joining us today.
No worries.
You're here. You're in the Crawley track. So I know there's been a little bit of press. Do you want to tell us about your situation and what you're doing here today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it always gets hyped up when things hit the press with speculation. But I'm obviously I know the gaffer well. I was here with him for 9 games on loan a few years ago. Well, quite a few years ago. I trust him, and I just wanted to come down and to get fit. I love being around the boys. I love being around football. It's my number one passion. My career took another path back when I was 23. So, I had to kind of come away from the seriousness of it. But to be able to get fit, I love keeping fit. I love playing football. To be able to do that with someone like the gaffer and a team like Crawley, a place that I loved so much when I was here last time. Fans are great. It's such a kind of family, homely community. It's not too far from my house, and with what's going on in the world at the moment, I can't be travelling away to Los Angeles where I was working last year. So get my head down, train with the boys. I've been really enjoying it. They're a great group of lads. Coaching staff's great, and as I said, I love the club. So it's just good for me to kind of train. And I'm up here this weekend working, so I'm just coming down to watch. And the gaffer surprised me with a little tracksuit to make me feel a part of it.
Well,
That's all it is. A little bit of training for now.
We ain't given the bill yet.
I was going to say, but I don't know. No, I've had all sorts over it. It'd been coming. You look like a Formula One racer. But John, is having Mark in as a character good for the squad? Not necessarily just coming in and playing, but good for the squad, good for the environment of the club.
Well, of course. If it wasn't, if we didn't know each other and I didn't trust Mark and Mark didn't trust us, I'm still remembering his goal up at Tamworth when the Crawley fans was there. And everybody, like I said to you, that season we stayed up. It was a great atmosphere. And obviously it's a credit to Mark what he thinks of the club that he decided to come here.
He's scored a banger in Soccer Aid, I think, last year as well.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah. Mind you, I think with that Soccer Aid, it was one of the lads made a point, and he comes out of Mark's way, Sam Ashford. And I said, look, Mark, he's a good player. And he said, what's he doing here? And I said, he said, yeah, I saw him in Soccer Aid. He said, but he was against Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson was not playing, just to confirm that.
And that sums up with the lads with him. So he's part of the team, he's part of the boys.
I love being, the one thing I miss about, there's so many things I miss about football. It's the thing I grew up loving and grew up wanting, that's all I wanted to do. And my career took me in another path. But to be able to still be around the dressing room, be around match days, be around training, it's kind of getting everything but the 90-minute game.
Yeah. And I suppose
never say never, but
because of the global situation at the moment, you've got a chance where you can spend some time focusing on your football career.
Play football, exactly. Yeah.
Fantastic, brilliant. Well, pleasure to have you here.
Cheers,
thanks for joining
you.
us and talking us down, John. As always, thank you very much. We'll let you crack on. Hopefully, get big 3 points here this afternoon.
That's what we're here for.
Hopefully.
Cheers.
Earlier on, we pre-recorded a very special version of Higher or Lower with Gary and Sam. So let's see how they get on as they took on the tough questions.
Oh my God, it's Higher or Lower with Talk of the Town.
It's that time of the show. Everybody's favourite time of the show. It is Higher or Lower. The reigning champ Gary is with us once again. Gary, 3 wins on the trot, confident again today against the youngster Sam.
Who knows? Difficult one. I wasn't confident Tuesday night and managed to dispense with Craig. So Sam will know some inside information, maybe more than I do. So
you never know. You never know.
The independent adjudicator ensures that nobody sees the questions before, so Sam has no inside knowledge, mainly because I write them so last minute. But anyway,
I think I left.
You come in today taking on Gary. Confident?
I think Gary knows his stuff, but I reckon I could sneak it. Just.
Okay. Someone's got to knock him off his pedestal.
Exactly.
Right, let's move to the main stuff. It's question 1. Now, this one, Gary, I'm going to ask you to write an answer. And Sam, you are going to have to say higher or lower. Okay, question 1. No Crawley player has more than 1 yellow card so far this season.
Yeah.
But Gary, how many yellow cards do the team have in total? Now, I'm not including managers or management team in this, so it's only players. So how many yellow cards do the players have in total? Sam, if you think that Gary's answer is exactly correct, you can say match. You can write match, and I will give you the point. So if you think he's got exactly right, you can match it. So Gary, you have gone 8. So higher or lower? Gary says 8 yellow cards throughout the season. Higher, lower, or for the first time ever in higher or lower, match.
I'm not sure, but
okay,
I'm going to go for it.
Sam has gone lower. I can reveal we've received 10 yellow cards in total. Sorry, you got excited there, Gary. 10 yellow cards in total. The answer was higher, so it is 1-0 to Gary.
Poor from me.
Okay, Sam, this time you're going to need to write down the answer. As everyone knows, Salford are owned by the class of 92. Ryan Giggs is one of those, and he holds the record of appearances for Manchester United. But how many times did he play for United? Ryan Giggs.
Big punt, this.
He's on 386. Gary, higher or lower?
I think
I'm saying that's possibly the easiest answer Gary's given in all his time on higher or lower. He's gone higher. Gary, what do you reckon it is?
I think it's close to about 600.
It's actually 963.
Oh,
you were a third, Sam. Absolute shambles. It's 2-0, Gary.
Get me off.
Come on. Pick. There's a long way to go. 900. Okay. You're still in this.
Am I?
Question 3. Ollie Palmer. This is for you, Gary. Ollie Palmer played 68 times for Crawley Town, but how many goals did he score? Ollie Palmer played 68 times for the Reds. How many did he score? This could be it. This could be game over. Could be the shortest higher or lower we've ever seen, Sam.
I haven't covered myself in glory here. 380.
Okay, obviously, again, you can match it if you'd like. He's gone 30. Higher or lower, or if you think it's 30, you can match.
I can't match because
doesn't get you back in the game, does it?
Sam has gone.
It's the only thing I can
higher.
go, really.
He's gone higher. Gary's gone 30. The answer was 27. It's lower. It's a good guess from Gary. It's 3-0. We'll continue the last few questions just to see if we can get a whitewash. But Sam, it's going to be a long way home for you if it carries on. Question 4.
Myself in glory,
it's all wrapped up. It's a round the pitch celebration for Gary. It's a parade.
I reckon I'm getting 0 here.
Number 4. How many appearances did Tony Craig make for Millwall in total?
Oh, why don't you say Brentford? I could have told you.
No, I wouldn't say Brentford. It'd be too easy. How many appearances did Tony Craig play for Millwall in total?
I really haven't done myself. Is this for both of us?
Okay, you have gone 265. You can go higher, lower, or match. You've gone higher. Did you have an idea of this, Gary, or did you guess?
Vaguely, because obviously I looked him up when he signed to see what his
Okay,
number of
so he's done his
were.
homework. It is 265. It's exactly right.
Boom.
Very good. Should have gone match. It's 4-0.
What's the point in doing it?
This to avoid the whitewash. Sam, this is for you. Okay, combined. What was Crawley and Salford's goal difference last season?
Brilliant.
Combined, what was Crawley and Salford's goal difference last season?
Sam writing first.
He's right. Sam's writing, desperately trying to save himself some embarrassment. He's gone 17. Higher or lower, Gary, than 17?
Plus 17 or minus 17? Goal difference.
He's gone plus 17. Gary, higher or lower, then plus 17.
It's just a punt.
This is for a 5-0 win. His greatest victory
just
up till now.
I'm off. I'm going home. Early bath.
I'm going to have a punt at the answer as well.
Oh,
Jesus,
no.
showing off. He's gone lower. He said +8. It's +7. It's a great guess, but it is 5-0. Sam, what an absolute shambles. The media team are looking from the press area. They're disgusted. I'm not even sure they're going to let you back in. Yeah. Well, thank you for taking part, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, you've wasted my time, you've wasted Gary's time, and you've wasted all of our viewers' time.
More importantly, I've wasted my own time.
You've wasted
really.
your own time. I think you should
You've
leave.
travelled 4 hours
Gary,
for that, Sam.
Gary, a 5-0 win. The roll continues.
Well,
we've got to find someone to try and take you on Tuesday night at home to Tranmere.
hopefully not Tuesday night. It's my 100th competitive commentary, Joe. I don't want to lose the title that day, do I?
It's another stat. I won't be higher or lower. That will not be in there.
Okay.
Gary, congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
It's 5-0. What can we say? Absolute disgrace from Sam Gadsden there on higher or lower. We will be having a full internal inquiry into that, and we will be disciplined accordingly for his poor performance against Gary. Hopefully next week or Tuesday night we'll give you a closer game. Of course, today you can follow on the iFollow. £10 for all supporters, season ticket or non-season ticket. Go onto the website, go onto the iFollow, and you'll be able to get today's game live. Hopefully there will be plenty of goals. A lot of you can go to Ballers, of course. As always, Ballers is open. If you can get down to the stadium, we are doing our £5 off our burger, chips and a can of drink. If not, go on to Just Eat or Uber Eats and you can order your food to your door whilst you watch the action or on your sofa or wherever you're taking it in the game this afternoon. Now, we did, because of the schedule with Gary and obviously the guys in the media, we have had to pre-record some of the stuff here very shortly just before we went on air. I caught up with Gary Smith earlier to give his analysis on Tuesday night, but also looking ahead to today's game. Well, Gary, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
A very wet Peninsula Stadium here today.
Yeah.
Just touch on Exeter to start with. The Reds obviously in a really good position. Seem to run out of steam, and was unfortunate with the second goal, but really unlucky not to get anything from that game on Tuesday night.
I think that's one of the main disappointing things, Joe, from Tuesday night is having led from the first half and got to so late in the game and still being in front. I think to not come away with a point even was a really disappointing thing, along with the fact of how the second goal goes in. You know, obviously no fault of Glenn's. He saved us more times than made mistakes like that. And you see that happen so often in games where it just sort of trickles past the post and the goalkeeper gets away with it, and sadly that didn't happen on Tuesday. And a couple of people afterwards said to me verbally and also on the social media, that's a typical Crawley type goal to concede, to lose a game, if you see what I mean.
Listen, no one's going to dig out Glenn, are they? Because at the end of the day, how many points has he saved us over the last 3 or 4 years?
Absolutely.
It's just a freak goal. Every goalkeeper's had it to him at some point.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating when I suppose you've done so many right things in the game, done so well to compete with a really good side and to come away with a defeat. But
I think the problem arose, Joe, in terms of the goal. The problem arose because I don't think the back pass needed to be played.
No,
you know, the player on the ball had plenty of time and space to sort of look and play it forward. And even Tony Craig said that to me afterwards. Perhaps we need to reflect on the fact that the ball should have gone the other way. Even if you play it forward over the other side, it goes out of play for a throw. You might still come away with a point. Who knows?
Yeah, but obviously the game's come thick and fast. That feels like it's only just happened. But obviously we're here again. Another really tough away game here at Salford, who, as you can tell by their recent managerial decision to let the manager go, obviously they've got high ambitions.
Yeah, they have, and they've obviously got the budget to match it. And I think in terms of the budget that Crawley and John and Lee have to work with, and the budget that's here, they're worlds apart, aren't they? So I think to be within touching distance, and 3 points for Crawley today would edge them above Salford in the table. But yeah, Salford will be there or thereabouts again come the end of the season, won't they? And much as we said on Tuesday night, if you finish anywhere near Exeter in the table, you're going to finish in the playoff places or an automatic spot. I think the same can be said here this afternoon. I think it's two very, very tough away games back to back, to then go at home against Tranmere, which is always tough. They're always a good side. And at home against Cambridge next week, who are buzzing around at the top of the table. So, like John always says, there's no easy fixture. Some of them on paper sometimes look more difficult than others. I think this is one of them.
And I think the really positive thing is going into those run of fixtures, we've had a reasonable start, a pretty solid start. We've got points on the board. It's not like we're going into those fixtures desperate for points, because we're not. We're comfortable. Obviously, points from those games are going to kick us on up the league, but even no points from these places at the start of the season, the bookies, I don't know what the odds are, but the bookies, I'm assuming, would have Salford as favourite. I'm sure they'd have Exeter as favourite on Tuesday night. Not that matters, but it gives you an idea of where people outside the club are expecting us to pick up points. So we're not desperate for points. So I suppose coming here, it's not a free game, but equally we're not in a desperate situation, are we?
No. But you want to get points back on the board, Joe. If you didn't get anything on Tuesday, which Crawley didn't, you don't want to start going 2 games, today, 3 games maybe. Tranmere, get a draw or something on Tuesday against Tranmere. You've got 1 point out of the last 9. Suddenly teams are sort of where it is still so very tight at this early stage of the season. Teams are catching up and overtaking each other. And like I said, 3 points today for Crawley will see them leapfrog Salford in the table and be in a very, very positive position going into Tuesday night with a great home record as well to protect. 2 home games in the next 7 days and a wonderful home record to try and protect. I think the 2 things about today, Joe, is they haven't lost to Salford in the 2 previous meetings. 0-0 here last season and 2-0 victory, I think, in the opening home game of last season as well. But on the negative side of things, if you want to call it a negative, all 4 away games that Crawley have played in the league so far this season, they've conceded 2 goals.
Right, okay.
Away at Exeter, away at Oldham, even though Crawley went on to win the game, away at Port Vale and away at Cheltenham. Yeah. Even if you look away at Gillingham, conceded 2 goals there as well.
Yeah, it's true. And I remember last year when we came here, it was Manny Adebuwale's debut. We had a few injuries. He come in and we kept a clean sheet, and it was a real dogged display. It was a real one where we sort of didn't cling on as such, but we battled and we scrapped and we went away going, do you know what? That clean sheet's got us a point, and you, by the sounds of it, we need that sort of performance here today. Salford now. Obviously 2 games ago they changed their manager. A lot of people raised eyebrows at that because they had a reasonable start. I think they were 5th in the league, something like that. They were unbeaten. But they chose to change manager. Obviously Paul Scholes is here in the interim. What do you make of their season so far?
I think they've been a little bit inconsistent compared to what they maybe would have wanted, and I think the fact that they sat 5th in the table and decided to get rid of Graham Alexander speaks volumes about their expectations, and with the money and everything that's around behind Salford and the people that own Salford that everybody knows about. And I think the option to be able to bring in someone like Paul Scholes, albeit as an interim, he could do quite well in the game. I think Paul Scholes, he wasn't a bad player himself, and he's obviously got a great deal of knowledge, and he is one of the part owners of the club. So it's probably quite a straightforward thing to bring him in. The decision to get rid of Graham Alexander, possibly a strange one, but like I say, maybe what they'd achieved up to that point hadn't matched the expectations, and maybe something went on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Like looking at their fixtures as well, I mean, they had played a lot of the sides who you wouldn't necessarily typically expect to be top sides. They had played the sort of Grimsby, Stevenage, Tranmere have had not an amazing start. So maybe they've looked at it and gone, actually, we're not doing well enough against these sides who we should be beating comfortably.
That's what I'm saying. They were probably expecting to be within that top 2 or 3, weren't they, and cementing an automatic promotion place from the early stages of the season. Graham Alexander hadn't lived up to that, and obviously a chat between him and the owners had decided to part the ways.
And we know what they are. They are ruthless. They want to press on. They will. If even if on the face of it things are going okay at the moment, if they don't think it's going to be the best way forward, they make those decisions. So I don't know if you've been getting feedback from people online. What are you expecting? What are your predictions for today?
Expecting a very, very tough one. My youngest daughter, when I saw her before I left the house this morning, very, very optimistic, says that Crawley are going to win 1-0 and that the goal will be in the first half and it will be scored by Max Waters again.
Very specific.
She's very specific about things. I thought she was actually going to give me the minute that it was going to be scored. If it turns out to be a 1-0 win for Crawley, we'll all be ecstatic to go home with a clean sheet and 3 points. I think if they come away with a point, Joe, I think it's it's a long way to come. It's another very tough away game. They've got to be on it right from the off. They can't pay too much respect to Salford. They need to get stuck into them. I think we could get a point. And again, I know I seem to sit on the fence every game at the moment, but I think this one will finish 1-1 as well.
Well, Gary, thank you very much. Obviously, you can join Gary on the iFollow from 3 p.m, where he'll be joined by the legendary Travel Ken. Gary, thank you very much for your time, and get yourself up to the commentary box. Thank you.
Cheers, Joe.
Yeah, big thanks to Gary for joining me earlier on. So thanks to Gary. He's now up in his commentary, giving his preview for BBC Sussex and Surrey, and obviously he will be on the iFollow later on, giving his commentary with the legendary Travel Ken, who you can also see later on Talk of the Town. We're 20 minutes away from kick-off here. It's absolutely lashing down, which is great because I'm getting soaking wet. But don't you worry about me. I'm fine. I'll survive. We caught up earlier with Will from Salford City to get the lowdown on the opposition this afternoon. So he came and we did a little interview with Will. So he told us all about what we can expect from Salford later on today. So I'd say now I'm joined by Will from Salford. Will, thank you very much for giving up your time to talk to us.
No worries.
Hopefully this time the person's pressed play on the camera. Throw him under the bus. Firstly, let's look at Salford as a club. Really rise through the ranks very quickly. Off the pitch, been a lot of developments, but I understand you've been here for quite a while yourself.
Yeah, we've not changed too much off the pitch since 2014 when the guys came in. A lot of the committee is still here, and there's still a lot of that community feel off the field. Class United have obviously bought the investment. They've allowed us to build things like the stadium, improve the team obviously on the field, and it's just all grown from there, but it's still very much got that original feel to it.
Yeah, which is great. And obviously last season was your first season in the league. Did you find that it was a big step up from the National League into the League Two? How do you think the club as a whole found it?
I think certainly it's a tougher division, League Two, than the National League. You know, I think anybody can go out, try and play nice football or try and play bullish football, however you want. You step up into League Two and every team is more relentless. I think that's the one thing that we took away from it, and you know, we suffered from that. Obviously, we came down to you guys on the back of a great win in our first game, and you know, that was a real reality check for us. And then in the weeks afterwards, you know, Plymouth, Morecambe, Carlisle, we dropped points late on. Yeah, so I think for me that's the real thing that we noticed about stepping up into the league, is just that teams are going to be pushing right to the very end, and you literally do have to play 98, 99 minutes of a game, and not just, you know, sit back and rest on your laurels.
Yeah, which we found on Tuesday night away at Exeter. We won it up, but there you go. And you start to the season this year, I think everyone expects Salford to be at the top end of the league. Is that the expectation from inside the club, that you'll be competing at the top end?
Yeah, no doubt. You know, promotion's the target, that's the aim. It has been over the last few years, and we've maintained a really good trajectory in that respect. You know, we National Northern Premier League, First Div North, Step 8 not too long ago. You know, now we're League 2, hopefully pushing for League 1. So we want to keep maintaining that momentum. The recruitment in the summer's been excellent. You know, they've recruited on the areas where we were probably weakest last year. I was doing my stats before the game. We're already better at the back. We scored more goals, so you know, I think it's paying off at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, you've had a solid start to the season. I think you played 7 games, only lost 1. Is that right? So you have had a solid start, and there does seem to be improvements from last season. Yeah,
like I say, I think we're 2 or 3 points better off than we were this stage last season. I think direct game for game, you know, we picked up a point against Exeter at home, against Forest Green at home. You know, they're 2 games we dropped points in last year, so we are looking a lot better.
Yeah, and obviously you had the manager change 2 weeks ago. Paul Scholes has come in for the last 2 games, won 1, lost 1. Has there been a change in the style of the performances?
Yeah, I mean, Port Vale last weekend, even though we lost, we had 61% possession, I think it was, and it's not too often we've actually had more possession than the opposition.
I think I saw that on the highlights on Quest, actually, they were saying about dominate the game.
But, you know, that happens. We didn't take the chances. Obviously, the penalty and everything was disappointing, but moved on. And Tuesday night, with respect, Southend were there to have a go at, and we gave them a really good game. You know, we just went for them. Probably could have scored 5-6, but you know, we'll take you 3-0 win, another clean sheet, and well, we're going to today and see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
obviously, we never scored against you guys.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm hoping that continues. I've got to be honest. Every time we have someone from the opposition on, we always ask for a prediction for today. We get different. Morecambe, the guy from Morecambe flat out was like, "Now I think we'll get beat," and they were top of the league at the time. What are your expectations? What do you predict today?
I'll be honest. I've never done a score prediction in 7 years. I think the last time I did it, it didn't end up well, so I've not done one. But I think it will be a good game. Obviously, you guys have been playing good stuff. You know, we're on the buzz from Tuesday night, so I think it will be a tight game, but it'll be open, it'll be end to end, and you know, hopefully we see goals.
Fingers crossed. Will, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.
We'll let you get back to me. That is almost all we've got time for. We do have one little treat coming up at the end of the show for you, so do stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it. Just want to say we've had so many lovely comments this past week about the show. Please do keep your feedback coming in, good or bad. We want to hear it. But thank you for the lovely kind words we've had from the majority of the
boys
fans.
and girls.
For you, and we hope that you are enjoying it. Even the Straight Red podcast had nice things to say. So a big thank you to Ewan and Jonathan for their lovely feedback. We hopefully will continue to entertain you all. In trying to continue to entertain you all, we are constantly trying to create new content, which isn't always easy when you are Saturday, Tuesday, especially when we've got 2 away games. So this week we did try a new game called Get Your Kits Out. Now, we tried the game. We wanted to put the content out. We wanted to make it as professional as possible. The filming company were there to produce the video. Didn't quite go according to plan. We ummed and ahed about whether to put it in the show today, but we've decided to leave it with you at the end. So particularly Travel Ken's performance. So we'll leave you with Get Your Kits Out. But from me, the filming company, Nick, thank you very much for travelling once again to Greater Manchester this afternoon. We'll leave you with Get Your Kits Out. That's all from us. Come on, you Reds!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I apologise for this game show. I just read out what it's called. Get your kits out. Get your kits out.
Yes, welcome to the very first edition of Crawley Town's Get Your Kits Out. I have two contestants today, it's Ken and it's Sam. Very simple game. A kit will come up on the screen. They have to say their name. Whoever says their name first, they get to answer the question. If they get it right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, so they buzz in and they get it wrong, the point goes to the other person. Does everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Let's play. Get your kits out. Play.
Ken.
Yes, Ken.
Newcastle.
Correct. 1-0.
Sam. Celtic.
Sam. No, you've got to say your name.
Celtic.
You say your name, Ken.
Hello.
You've got to say Ken. It's 1-1. Next one.
Sam, Ipswich.
Yes, 2-1. Number 4.
Sam, Germany.
Sam, Germany is 3-1. Ken, just got to say your name.
Sam, Ajax.
4-1.
Ooh. Sam, Udinese.
It's just a sound show, isn't it?
Oh, you got to say your name, Ken.
I did.
Number 7.
After I said the name of the team.
Number 7.
Sam, Olympique Lyon.
Number 8.
Sam, Fleetwood.
We can't do this. Number 9.
Come on, Ken. Come on, I'll give you a bit of time.
Belgium. Ken.
Number 10.
Deutschland.
No. Ken.
Ken. What's me called? Germany.
No.
Sam, Austria.
Blimey.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam Dortmund.
Say his name again. Say your name.
I know who it was. Dortmund,
You
didn't it?
said Sam.
Yeah, man, that's it.
We'll carry on. There's no way this is going to air, but we'll continue.
What do you mean?
Number 12.
Going to where? Ajax.
No.
Ken.
Ken.
Who? I don't know who it is.
Sam, Boca Juniors.
How would anyone know that?
Oh, I know it.
Number 13.
Sam, Atletico Madrid.
Number 14.
Come on,
Nottingham
Ken.
Forest, Ken.
Say your name first.
You can't. I can't
Number
get.
15.
Yeah, you see, I said it before you. Who is
Sam, Paris
it? Paris
Saint-Germain.
Saint-Germain.
Number 16.
Sam, Blackpool.
Go on, Bez. My mate.
Get in there.
Number 17.
Sam, Lille.
Number 18.
How would anyone know that? Nigeria, Ken.
Number 19.
Sam, Torino.
Number 20.
Ooh, Sam, Czech Republic.
That brings us to the end of Get Your Kids Out.
Tom told me that one, the Czech Republic, but I forgot.
I don't know what the score is. Back to you in the studio.
Get your...
What a show! If you enjoyed it as much as we did, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified about when we are next live here from Talk of the Town. Make sure you don't ever miss an episode, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you again very soon.